Hollywood is a place where they'll pay you $1,000 for a kiss and 50 cents for your soul. A quote by Marilyn Monroe in her autobiography titled My Story in 1974. America adored the girl next door, Norma Jean Mortensen, also known as Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn Monroe is America's favorite icon when it comes to beauty and sex appeal. She was, however, exploited for her sexuality and Cinderella-like story very early in her career. You may have seen her on merchandise and media glamorizing her beauty and sex appeal. Although she went through many obstacles in life and rose to fame, all of it came with a price to pay. My purpose is to inform you of Marilyn Monroe's life and how it all came to be. First, let me tell you how it all began. Born on July 1st, 1926, in Los Angeles, California, under the name Norma Jean Mortensen, was Marilyn born. According to Maurice Zalatow, a business biographer, in the article titled Marilyn Monroe, The Marvelous Phenomenon of Our Times by the Guardian newspaper, Mother Gladys Mortensen delivered in a charity ward. She also suffered from a mental breakdown that caused for her to be permanently in treatment. This led to Norma to grow up in foster homes, 12 to be exact, and 1 orphanages. She faced many abuse, sexually, and even rape. She was enrolled in Van Nuys High School in 1941, and things started to change around the age of 16. She ended up marrying Jim Dowtry, which led her out the foster care system. Then she started a job at the airline plant, part of the World War II factory effort. First as a parachute inspector, second as a paint sprayer. The government came in, decided to take pictures of the women at work, and noticed how photogenic Norma Jean was. Right then, they decided to put her in modeling classes, and soon was working part-time for a photographer and became the cover of Yank magazine. By 1946, she divorced her then husband Jim, and then decided to bleach her hair blonde, then recognizing her further as the Marilyn Monroe we know today. She signed a contract with 20th Century Fox. Then Lyon, the casting director, suggested the name Marilyn, and she added her grandmother's name, Monroe. She became a symbol very fast, but all of that came with a price to pay. And I'm going to tell you how that happened. Monroe's personal life was very complicated. Fame caused her depression and ultimately led to her death. Many criticized her, calling her dumb blonde at times. So, to better retract from that, she ended up opening up her own studio in 1955. A year prior, she married Joe DiMaggio. Within 9 months, they were divorced. Her production company did very well, though. And then she entered her third marriage with acclaimed playwright Arthur Miller. After 4 years of marriage and several miscarriages, Monroe and Miller divorced. This led to increasingly emotional fragility, and she unfortunately had to be admitted twice to a psychiatric treatment for observation and rest. In her final film, The Misfits, she performed very well in. But it was often stated that she was under the influence of alcohol and pills and would show up constantly late. During this period, she was bothered by rumors that included love affairs with then President John F. Kennedy and his brother Robert F. Kennedy. Fame caused her great distress, leading to her mental illnesses and substance abuse. As Bosley Crawford, a journalist of the New York Times, stated in his article, Actress as a Symbol, as with so many movie stars before her, in the days when glamorization was more intense and more consistent with the social environment that it might seem in this sophisticated age, Miss Monroe was a victim and a gainer from the publicity of her job. On August 5th, 1962, at the age of 36, Marilyn Monroe had passed of a drug overdose. According to Dr. Howard Markle, in the column Marilyn Monroe and the Drugs That Killed Her, in PBS Health magazine, states, on Marilyn's bedside was a virtual pharmacopoeia of sedatives, tranquilizers, opiates, speed pills, and sleeping pills. Next to her body was an empty bottle of barbiturates. Conspiracy theories and tall tales of her circulate her death, including if she was murdered, and others including it in the involvement of John F. Kennedy and his brother Bobby. Now that you know more about her life and its tragic ending, you're probably wondering, why do we know her today? Monroe has had a major role in society in her time as well as today. As Time had put in their article, How Marilyn Monroe Became a Real Actress by Lily Rothman, she was a figure of fantasy. Her face and her body jump-started her life, but her Cinderella-like story made her an icon. She is also remembered as a feminist. American feminists have claimed Marilyn as a powerful symbol. She is seen as a woman experienced with sexual abuse, sexual victimization, and her mother's madness. She is a movement for abused girls that are treated as objects. Marilyn is seen on many items all over the world. Her image isn't going anywhere anytime soon. In 2011, My Week with Marilyn was released, which was inspired by her true story. In 2015, a Lifetime TV miniseries was debuted called The Secret Life of Marilyn. To summarize, Marilyn Monroe faced many hardships as a child that inevitably changed her life and created a huge star. Monroe's personal life was very complicated. Fame caused her depression and ultimately led to her very tragic death. Marilyn has had a major role in society, and she will be remembered as an icon. After this, I know you will have a better understanding of the life of Marilyn Monroe.